Hi Scorpio, this is Teresa. Welcome to September. So, what's happening this month? Let's see. We have Venus moving into Virgo on September 6th. We have a full moon in Pisces on the 10th, which is favorable to your sign. And right after that, Mercury goes retrograde on the 10th. And then we have a new moon in Libra, which is falling in your 12th house, and that's on the 25th. So we'll talk about what that all means later. And for now, let's look at the cards. What do the cards say for Scorpio? About love and relationships. What does Scorpio need to know about love and relationships for the month of September? What does Scorpio need to know about love and relationships for the month of September 2022? What is coming up for Scorpio? What does Scorpio need to know? What does Scorpio need to know about love and relationships for the month of September? Okay, let's see what we get. The Lovers. The Five of Wands. The Two of Swords. The King of Swords. The Seven of Swords. The Emperor. The Sun. The Six of Cups. The Wheel of Fortune. And the Ace of Wands. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so you're starting out the month with the Lovers and having to make a choice or a decision about a relationship. With the Five of Wands crossing, you could be in conflict about a relationship, like what to do, what do I do? Or it could also mean petty conflict, like maybe you've been fighting with someone over little things and you're trying to figure out what to do with the relationship. Do I stay and fix it? Do I leave it? What do I do? The Lovers usually represents a choice between two paths. So for some of you, it could be a choice between two loves, and you're conflicted about that. Like if you're dating two people, I'm not talking about infidelity. I'm just talking about like if you got two people that you are deciding on, you're trying to figure out which one is the better one for you, or which relationships, because Scorpio is a one-on-one person. You don't like dividing yourself between people. That's not normal for a Scorpio unless you have a lot of other aspects in your chart that relate to a more flighty energy. But typically Scorpio is a one-man woman, one-woman man. Yeah. So, or whatever. If you're interested in someone, you're like all or nothing. You're either all in or you're all out. So I'm thinking it's more, if you are choosing between two people, it's only temporary because you're not going to be dating two people. At some point, you're going to make a choice and commit yourself to that one person. For those of you who are in a relationship already, you're trying to decide what to do, to stay in it or to leave it. With the Five of Wands, there could be, like I said, some petty conflicts. You can't see eye to eye. You feel like you're not on the same page. You're always fighting. You have the Two of Swords in the past. So I feel like there could be some kind of standoff going on in a relationship. Like you might have had an argument or you've been separated from the person. Because the Two of Swords is about having to make a decision. And because you can't decide, you're just going to sit and think about it. And this card usually comes up when each person is waiting for the other person to make contact. So you're waiting for them to contact you, they're waiting for you to contact them, and you're at this standoff, like a Mexican standoff. Like, well, I'm not calling, let him call or let her call, whatever. So, and with the Seven of Pentacles here, it's like you gave some energy to this relationship, and now you're waiting to see where it's going to develop, if it's going to develop. And you're using and you got this King of Swords energy. This has been influencing the relationship. Maybe you feel like you could be dealing with someone where there's an age difference, because the King of Swords can sometimes represent an older person. Someone who's could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone with air in their chart. For some of you, you could feel that this person is being too harsh or too hard on you. Like, because this is an energy of someone who is, very black and white. There's no gray area. It's like you're either right or you're wrong. And maybe, and then also, because the court cards have multiple meanings. They don't just mean one thing. It could mean that you're using your intellect to try to make this decision. You're trying to figure out what's real, what's not real about this relationship. Is this someone that I want to be with? Is this something I should work out? What do I really need to know about this relationship? And should I stay or should I go? I feel like that's a big issue right now. And what makes it hard is because with the Lovers, this is a strong connection. And you even have the Sun in the reading, which, this is a connection that is really intense. You have fun when you're together, and it could lead to a commitment or marriage, but you have some issues to resolve as well. So now you're trying to decide. And especially with the Seven of Swords coming up, you may feel like the Seven of Swords has a couple of meanings too. You may feel like this person doesn't want to face the truth about the relationship. They're like avoiding the relationship or avoiding the truth. Like they don't want to deal with the problems. Because the Seven of Swords is someone who's like sweeping things under the rug. And then you're starting to wonder, can I trust this person? Are they being real with me? Are they just saying one thing to my face, but they're not really meaning it? Sometimes the Seven of Swords can mean that you think someone might have an agenda or may not be totally transparent with you. So you're starting to question everything in the relationship. Like, what's real? What can I believe what this person's saying? Is there anything that they're hiding? What else do I need to know? Are they just using me? Are they really sincere? Where do I fit in? How can I get them? It could be a situation where you want to talk about things and they don't want to talk about it, they just want to sweep it under the rug. And so then you're like, but we have to deal with this. We can't just sweep it under the rug. So the Emperor is coming up in the future. So I see, like, the Emperor could be, it's someone who is very, for the most part, they're very organized, they're very disciplined. They could be a boss or a leader, because the Emperor is like the CEO card, the executive. So there's someone who is like a take charge kind of person. Someone you could depend on, like if you need something, they're there for you. But because of this Seven of Swords, I feel like they have some issues. They have some issues they need to work out. Possibly like some insecurities within. Where that's one of the reasons why they don't want to face anything. Maybe they can't face themselves. There's something within that they can't face. But I feel like if you've had a falling out with someone, they are thinking about you, because I'm seeing the Emperor facing the Lovers. They're doing a lot of thinking too. And you have the Sun here, which is a good sign that you can overcome whatever problems. So if you're having, I don't see it as a major, like a deal breaker. I feel like it's just petty stuff that needs to be worked out, that can be worked out. But somebody has to break the ice and be willing to be vulnerable, because the Two of Swords energy is both people don't want to be vulnerable. So there could be some egos involved here, where the person doesn't want to look like the weaker one. So they're being, and they don't want to tell you like how they really feel. They don't want to, like everybody's got, it's like a pride thing. While I'm not, I'm not calling because my pride was wounded, on both sides. So both of you are feeling this sense of pride and woundedness. And however, I do think, because you got the Six of Cups here in your environment, I think this person is going to reach out to you. So if you've had a falling out with someone, somebody's got to break the ice. So if it's not you, it's going to be them. We'll see who has the most endurance. Now, when it comes to Scorpio, you can outstare anybody. You can out-endure anybody. So I think it's going to be them. If anybody breaks the ice, it's going to be them, because you can give them that ice, that cold shoulder, that freezing stare, and Scorpio is very strong. So the Six of Cups is about reconnecting with someone from the past. It's about healing from the past. That could be some issue. But it's also someone who, moving into greater harmony in the future. So I feel like you could overcome these problems. And this future, so this person may reach out maybe with a gift or an offer, proposal or something, some kind of message or love. I think someone is going to reach out. And you can make things better. You can learn the lessons of the past and have greater harmony in the future. And plus you have the Wheel of Fortune here, which is that things are changing. So it could be unexpected. It could be that someone reaches out when you least expect it. Like maybe you think, oh, that's it, it's over. And then all of a sudden they reach out. Or you run into them or something. Because the Six of Cups is like healing from the past, connecting with people from the past, somebody from the past coming back. It could even be a past, like you might have a past life connection with this person. That you were lovers in a past life or you were married in a past life. And that's why it's so hard to break free from this relationship. Because you have a really strong connection, especially with the lovers there. It's like, my life would be very different without this person in it. You both realize the strength and the value of the relationship. So you have to, but you have to overcome these petty conflicts. And then you have the Ace of Wands as the outcome, which is a new beginning. So I feel like you can have a new beginning with this person. But you may have to compromise, or you may have to have some difficult conversations. So I wouldn't give up necessarily, but you definitely have to face the things that you're not willing to face. And that could lead to greater harmony in the future and change. And, you have this negative thinking going on, like you're not seeing, in your mind you're thinking we can't solve this. But the cards are saying you can if you want to. So you have to put your mind in a more positive mindset. Like, okay, we're going to work things out. The other person's going to see the error of their ways, or we're going to talk about it. We're going to work out some compromise. We're going to have some kind of healing, and we're going to try and make things better in the future. So let's see what the angels have to say about this situation. What message do you need to hear from the angels? Inspiration. Okay. A wave of inspiration and a stream of beautiful ideas are about to enter your aura. It's important that you trust your intuition at this time. Pay attention to the unusual thoughts that come to your mind and do not discount your imagination. Many wonderful ideas which have served humanity were initially scoffed at or ridiculed. We, your guardian angels, will help you discover ways to apply your ideas and manifest new realities for your life. So, what I was saying, focus on the positive, focus on what you want to create, see the situation resolving with love and joy and happiness for both parties, and you can manifest that. So don't focus on anger, fear, resentment, and especially not revenge, because that will hurt you as much as it hurts the other person. Revenge is not sweet. Be the eagle in this situation, not the lizard. And try to see things from the other person's perspective. Try to work out some kind of win-win. But mostly visualize a positive outcome. So let's see what the astrology is saying. So Scorpio, you have a full moon in the 5th house, conjunct Neptune, and opposing the sun in the 11th house. So this is a romance, friendship. Something is being revealed at this time, so maybe that's when you start to talk to each other. Neptune in the 5th conjunct the moon. You might be feeling very intuitive about this situation. So trust your gut, trust your feelings. Because when Neptune and the moon come together, two things can happen. Especially in the 5th house of creativity and love and fun. You could get involved in a creative project. You could feel very inspirational, intuitive. Scorpio is naturally intuitive to begin with. But your intuition is going to be enhanced. So if someone contacts you, you're going to be able to see, are they being real with me or not? Because, you can spot a lie, you could smell a lie, or anybody who's fake from 20 miles away. So it's going to be enhanced around this time. The other thing the moon and Neptune could be is you could be dealing with someone that has some drinking or drug problem or mental issues. But I'm not seeing, let's see, where's the Mars? Mars is squaring from the 7th house. So there is some tension in relationships. When Mars is in the 7th house, you're either having sex or you're fighting. It's because the Mars energy is sex and aggression and ambition. So the way, if you're not fighting, you have to do something with the energy. So it's better to clean the house or do something active, physical. If you're not doing that, then you take it out, it has to come out some way. So there could be some arguments around what you do together as a couple. Maybe you're idealizing someone. So you don't want to over-idealize someone, but you want to see the reality, which you might see that at this moon. And it may not be something negative, but it's also, the Mars gives you that energy to clear the air. And because it's a square, it's uncomfortable. So both parties, you don't want to really talk about the difficult things, or the fighting is really happening so that you could clear the air and get at the root of the problem. Now the positive thing that's happening, wait a second, Mars is in your 8th house, but Uranus is in your 7th house. Uranus is, so that's the issue. Mars squaring this aspect. It has to do with intimacy. Maybe a fear of intimacy, or fear of, you're confronting your demons with the 8th house. A fear of getting really close to someone, really giving yourself over to this relationship. That could be part of the problem. Uranus is in your 7th house. And in Taurus with the North Node, it's actually favorable to this moon. It's sextile the moon in Neptune, and it's trining the sun. So you have to think out of the box to solve this issue. And it may involve one of you having more freedom in the relationship. Maybe one person is wanting to lock somebody down, and you're rebelling against that. You have issues around freedom. How much freedom do I have? Do I want to really give away my freedom? Because the Uranus in the 7th, it creates instability in relationships, but mostly because you may feel like someone is wanting to restrict you, and you need to be, they just need to leave you be, let you be. You have to, when you love someone, you can't love them with chains. You can't chain them to the bedpost. So if someone's trying to chain you down, you're going to rebel against that. That could be part of the problem. You have to allow each other to be who you are, and if you come together, great. And if you can't come together, if you're into different things, then you have to let it go. But I feel like you have the potential to make this work. You just have to understand each other and give each other enough space so that the relationship can flourish and you don't feel smothered. Because I think that's one of the issues, that you don't want to be smothered in this relationship. You don't want to be restricted. Mercury's in your 12th house. It's trining Mars in the 8th house. So this is a great time to talk about the things that have been bothering you. Maybe you haven't really been communicating about the real issues. Mercury's in Libra now. It's going to retrograde and go back into Virgo, and then it'll be in your 11th house of friendships and hopes and wishes. So I feel that when Mercury goes retrograde, that's when you probably will connect with someone from the past. So if you've broken up or something, you may hear from that person, or you may have a chance to communicate and redo something, talk about it, maybe go over a past issue. Like you might have had some issue that you had to work out, and then you thought it was resolved, but then it comes up again. Now you have to work on it again. So it's an energy of redoing, revisiting an issue with a friend or a group of people that you belong to. You have Venus in the 11th. Venus is when Venus moves into Virgo. I'm sorry. When Venus moves into Virgo, it's going to be in the 11th house. So your relationships with friends will get better. You might be attracting better relationships, or things might be more harmonious. You won't be fighting as much. Venus always brings harmony and compromise. But in Virgo, it can be discriminating. So you may be looking at your friends and thinking, who is on team Scorpio and who do I need to eliminate? Who do I want to hold on to because they've been there for me, and who is giving me grief and I maybe need to cut them out. But you'll do it in a nice way because Venus is always charming and diplomatic. You have Jupiter in the 6th with Chiron, so you do have some healing to do. And with Jupiter in the 6th, you might be overdoing it at work. You need to have some work-life balance. And with Chiron in the 6th, you might be giving too much to other people. Like maybe you're always sacrificing because you feel like I can only be loved if I'm doing something. Like you were taught to be a human doing instead of a human being. So don't over-sacrifice for something. You have to learn how to stand your ground and recharge and know what your limits are. Because with Jupiter, you feel like you could do it all. You could do everything. And then when you get down to the nitty-gritty, it's like, oh, how am I going to do all this? So know what your limits are and set those boundaries. And don't say yes to everything. If say the yes to the things that bring you joy. Don't say yes to the things that are giving you grief. Saturn's going through your 4th house, and it's squaring Uranus in your 3rd house. So there's some issues around family that you need to discuss also. Friends and family. You might need to free yourself from certain obligations. Maybe your family, because the 3rd house is brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. 4th house is family, home. And so maybe there's something like you're always doing everything for everybody, and everybody expects you to be there for them, but then when you need help, nobody's there for you. So you may need to set some boundaries and free yourself from some of these obligations so that you can have time to rest and recharge. Then we have the new moon in Libra. And for you, that's happening in your 12th house. So this is great. We have the full moon where you see what needs to be done. You start to set some boundaries. And then the new moon in Libra, let's see what it's doing. It's going to hit, it's giving you a new beginning where you can clear out some, like the 12th house is a psychological house. It's everything that's hidden. So you may have some kind of realization of what you've been hiding from yourself, within yourself. Maybe there's certain things that you have, or certain ways that you've been blocking your success, and you finally see this at the full moon, and now you're ready to work on it at the new moon, and you could work to create greater harmony in your life with relationships, because Libra is all about relating. So if there are psychological blocks that are preventing you from having harmony in a relationship, you might see that and work on that. I mean, you can't control the other person. If you try to control somebody else, forget it. It's a waste of energy. What you need to control, the only thing you can control is your reaction and your response to what's happening from the outside. So observe, don't absorb. If someone's pushing your buttons, you don't have to react. You have to learn how to control that and be more strategic and realize, okay, I can't change that person, but I can change how I'm going to respond. I can calm myself down before I say something in anger I'm going to regret. But the new moon will hit Mercury and Venus before it goes into Libra. It will trine Pluto. And you've got Pluto, where do you have Pluto? In the 3rd house. So this is a powerful time for really speaking up. Because I feel like you've been holding things in and not speaking. And that's causing more problems. So it's time to speak up. It's time to open up your heart. Really not be afraid to be vulnerable. Because I think that can form a stronger bond. Especially with Pluto when Venus is trining Pluto, there's strong emotions here. And Pluto's in the 3rd house. That's the house of communication. So it's time to talk, to go deep. You can't just, skim the surface of things. You have to go deeper. Because like when you're fighting over petty things, it's not usually the petty thing that's the issue. It's something that's deeper. And you have to get to the root of the problem. And then you won't be fighting over the little things when you solve the actual root cause. Mars is in your 8th house. It's trining Saturn in the 4th. Mars in the 8th could bring up some expenses. Maybe some family home things. You might have to fix some things around the house. And some unexpected expenses may pop up. But Mars also gives you ambition to tackle some problem. So when Mars is in the 8th house, you're going to tackle your demons. You're going to tackle the shadow in your personality. Like if there's something that you need to really look at and deal with, Mars trining Saturn will help you to do that. So you could have make some positive developments that help with your family situation. Like whatever you're working on, whatever you're willing to face, because Scorpio has courage to face anything. Whatever you're willing to face and to heal is going to strengthen your bonds with your family. And it may even revolve around home issues, early childhood. That's something that you can look at. And Saturn is getting really close to a square with Uranus. It's not going to be exact like it was earlier in the year, but it's only 1 degree away. So it's pretty close. So it's like bringing up those issues again. And the issue is, I need freedom from something. You have Uranus in the 7th and Saturn in the 4th. So you need to free yourself from some family pattern, some childhood pattern that's interfering with your relationships. Maybe even blocking you from commitment because of what happened in the past. So you have to look at that. It would be a great time, especially with this new moon in your 12th house, to go for counseling. If you're in a partnership and the other person doesn't want to go, you go. Talk it out. Work on yourself, and you'll come out stronger. And you'll be ready for when we're going to have some eclipses next month in Scorpio. So prepare now. So that way you can hit the ground running next month when we have the new moon in Scorpio. So that's my forecast. I think it looks positive for love, for solving whatever problems exist. But you're going to have to be willing to look at parts, the shadow, and what's causing the issue, what's causing the real issue. And if you have the courage to look and to deal with those issues and to release them, I think you can create greater harmony and new beginnings in love this month. And especially next month. Maybe not so much this month. I think it's a psychological month. You're working on yourself. Next month is when you're going to take action because you'll have the new moon eclipse in Scorpio. So, this is my reading, Scorpio. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click on the like button, leave a comment, let me know if this resonated with you. If you'd like, subscribe to my channel also if you want to support this channel. If you'd like a private reading where we deal with your specific issue, because this is a general reading, it may not apply to everyone, but if you want a specific reading that's tailored just to your situation, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website and we can get you scheduled. In the meantime, have a wonderful September and I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.